Hey there guys, and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy XIII. In the last episode, after getting the central elevator to where it can access all floors in Tajin's Tower, we took care of Sea Stone Mission 27, which was very hard, but we finally did it. Alright, so before leaving, I would highly suggest that you guys look over the last couple videos, the optional stuff to do in Tajin's Tower. First of all, you'll need to get the central elevator working so that it can access all floors. And if you need to know how to do that, look back on the last couple episodes, because it doesn't really tell you anything in the game. But getting the central elevator so that it can access all floors is because it's really handy, especially if you want to backtrack through Grand Pulse, because in this episode we're going to be heading to Oerba. So Oerba is the end of the line for Grand Pulse, meaning there's nothing after it. It's the last city, and we're going to have to backtrack very soon to do some more optional stuff. And yeah, so it's going to make your backtracking a whole lot easier, because if you already got the elevator set up, whenever you backtrack to Tajin's Tower, you can simply jump on the central elevator from the top floor, the Cloven Spire, and take it all the way back to the ground floor. So if you don't have the central elevator able to access the top of the Cloven Spire, then you're going to have to take the side elevators, and then you're going to have to manually run down to the 5th or 6th floor, and then you can jump on the central elevator. But it's much easier to get it set up. Not just for backtracking once, but we're going to be backtracking multiple times, so it's really going to come in handy. And again, if you don't know how to do that, look back on 2 episodes back, and I explained that in detail. Also, on the last episode, we completed Sea Stone Mission 27. So we have all 27 Sea Stones up to date, and we did it in the correct order without skipping any missions. So if you're missing any missions, check back through the walkthrough. I cover all 27 Sea Stone missions in detail. By the way, missions 20 through 26, or 21 through 26, can all be our storyline entwined, meaning that if you're at the top of the Cloven Spire, you already done all 6 of them. Because in order to get to the top of Tajin Tower, you have to complete Sea Stone missions 21 through 26. And they're kind of odd because they're not really Sea Stones that give you the mission, it's the statues. So it kind of throws people off a little bit. But yeah, we have all 27 Sea Stone missions up to date. Everything's taken care of. Everything that we can do to this point, all the optional stuff, everything is taken care of. And yeah. So before moving on, I would recommend that you have at least 800,000 CP. And that's because the Crystarium is going to expand yet again very soon. So we're going to need to have at least 800,000 CP. And if you're over 900,000 CP, then you can start maxing out other roles. So I'm going to quickly do that for each character. So for now, I'm going to start progressing Lightning down her secondary role, the Synergist first. Alright. And Vanille, we can go ahead and start progressing her down her Synergist role as well. Because I find that Synergist should be like the first secondary role everyone should max out, whoever aren't Synergist. Because Synergist is very important. And also each character, while learning the secondary role of Synergist, will learn different abilities. So you're generally going to want to progress, start for your secondary role. The first thing you should progress is the Synergist. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And if you have over over 900,000 Crystarium points, I would only spend your Crystarium up until you have 870,000 Crystarium points, or 850,000 Crystarium points at the minimum. And the reason for that, I'm not going to give any spoilers away or anything, but the maximum CP you can have is 999,999. And there are a bunch of monsters that we're going to fight in Oerba. So that's going to give us about anywhere between 50 to 100,000 CP. And then we're going to fight a boss, and the boss is going to give us 100,000 CP. So you don't want to have 999,999 CP saved up when you fight the boss, because after the battle you're going to get 100,000 CP. So make sure you at least use, if you have over 900,000 CP, make sure you at least use up your CP until you're down to 850,000. Alright, so with all that taken care of, let's go ahead and spend some CP so that we don't overmax our Crystarium. And we're gonna develop, I guess we'll just keep Fang. Let's see what Fang can learn as a synergist. Oh yeah, we're definitely making Fang a synergist. She can learn Bravura. And Saz, let's go ahead and advance Saz as a medic, because Saz already has his synergist role, so it's probably important to go ahead and develop Saz as a medic. Alright, so I wouldn't go any further than Asuna, because the CP really starts costing a lot. As you can see, we're up to 18,000 CP plus per node, and it's simply not worth it. Oh, I wish we could learn Protect with Lightning, Fang, or Vanille. That would be awesome. And for Hope, since Hope already knows Medic, Ravager, and Synergist, let's go ahead and progress him down the Saboteur role. D Protectaga, what? D Shelga, oh my god. Hope's a badass Saboteur. Alright, so that should be about everything. Once you've advanced your character's secondary roles far enough, let's go ahead and head for Oerba. Alright, so look for if you pull up your map, you'll see that there's a destination marker and a newly accessible elevator. This is the elevator that'll lead you to Oerba. So go ahead and jump up to the platform and continue jumping up. And at the end of the path, you'll see the elevator. Go ahead and board it.
Now that looks like an easier way to get where we're going.
Well, let's take it. Wouldn't want you to throw your back out climbing, old man.
You really are a charmer, aren't you?
Alright, so after you get off the elevator, you'll be on the outskirts of Oerba on a snowy trail. There's a save point to the right if you want to save your game. And let's continue along the path. Also keep a lookout for the next sea stone because it's in Oerba, so we're going to have to complete that while we're here. It should be Sea Stone 28. Mission 28. So let's go ahead and continue following the path and take out all enemies you come to. Alright, after you take out the vampire, continue along the path. And the village of Oerba is now in sight. This little broken down village. So ahead you'll see a new type of thief. And this is the Taxon. So he's actually weaker than a vampire in my opinion. You can stagger him a lot quicker too. Or maybe that was the random instant chain kicking in, I don't know. Alright. So Oerba is pretty much the end of the road. It's the last place that you'll visit on Grand Pulse, and it's also one of the most lucrative, considering that you have done, if you've took 11,000 steps on Grand Pulse since you arrived on Grand Pulse, you'll get 450,000 gil. Well, they won't just hand you 450,000 gil. You get items that you can sell. And the amount of items you get depends on how many steps you took since you've been on Grand Pulse. So if you took more than 11,000 steps, you should be able to get all the items. Also, our Crystarium's gonna expand, so we can get even stronger. Upgrade our weapons. So I pretty much, every time I get to Oerba, I think of it kind of like an accomplishment, and you're rewarded with the treasures and stuff that you get for actually making it this far. Alright, so further ahead you'll come to a save point on your right, just as you reach the street. So go ahead and jump over the crack.
You're gonna hit one! You're gonna swerve!
Alright, so continuing on, the place is littered with enemies. Go ahead and take them out one by one.
Keep out of this! You're gonna swirl! You're gonna swirl! You're gonna swirl! You're gonna squirm!
Alright, so after taking out the final group of enemies on the road, the path will split. Go ahead and take the small left-hand path, and here you'll come to the sea stone. And yep, this is sea stone 28. Alright, so with that, I'm going to conclude this episode, and I'll pick up next time so that we can complete this sea stone. First, we got to figure out where the mark's at. So I'll see you guys next time on the next episode of Let's Play Final Fantasy XIII.